Hey everybody, and welcome back to Golf Apocalypse. I went back to Iowa for the weekend to do a little golf at my favorite public golf course in the world, the Legacy Golf Club in Norwalk, Iowa, just south of Des Moines. I really want to thank Travis and the Manning family for being supportive and letting me film, for always having great events and keeping the course in great shape. The course is always very challenging and great to play. I really can't recommend it enough. You need to travel here and play here. Today is part one of an 18-hole match play against my old golf buddy Weston. We've been kicking the ball around together for 20 years and been playing the Legacy for about 10 to 15. Surprisingly, we've never did a match play format. So here we go. And special thanks to our good friend Trent for helping film and hanging out. Okay, so as you can see in here, it was extremely windy. Maybe 20 to 35 mile winds with wind gusts. It was also 40 degrees, so we were a little bundled up here. Par 4, number 1, it's pretty straightforward. Both our tee shots were okay. I had kind of a ball above my feet. Went left. It's really hard to judge the distance, and sometimes it's really hard just to keep your stance without falling over.
Get in the hole, Corby. Oh!
So Trent comes through with the nice catch, of course, on the camera. I mean, everything was blowing over. You could hear the flags, right?
Yeah.
Really, really high winds. Hole number 2 is a really, really challenging hole. You kind of got to hit 5 iron to 3 wood, depending what you're trying to do. You're trying to get over the water. You almost always have a downhill lie, which I'm terrible at. But my scoring average on hole number 2 is not very good.
Stop.
But it's a great hole. It's a very challenging hole. But we both managed to get over in 2, which sometimes doesn't happen, especially for me with a downhill lie. It's my worst thing ever. So I was in the bunker once, in the bunker twice, got out of the bunker. But we halved hole number 1. Going into hole number 3, pretty straightforward par 4 again, a little longer. You really want to be in the fairway to the left side to have a nice clean look at the green. Otherwise, if you go right, you really got to deal with those trees.
Come on in.
We both had pretty good drives, but the wind was something else on our second shots.
Club.
I think we both had reasonable shots here for birdies, or really pars, because it was so windy that the ball was being affected by the wind, and you really didn't know how hard to putt it, whether you're uphill, downhill, side breaks. Actually, the greens have a lot of break here, which is really fun, and I think the greens have actually slowed down in the last several years. They used to be much, much worse. But with the wind, you know, it's hard to judge, and I didn't putt well all day.
Yes, that is.
Especially lag putts and long putts. I pre-putted probably several times. Going into the 4th hole, again, another pretty straightforward par 4. Weston is 1 up at this point. We had the first hole, he won the second, I won the third. We go into the 4th. Pretty good drives. You got bunkers on the right if you hit it far enough. Weston here hits a pretty nice shot for a second. I bladed mine out of the sand. Had this lovely chip to deal with, where if I would have had maybe an extra foot on that shot, it would have rolled up and kicked nicely onto the green, but I hit right on the uphill slope just past the bunker. So I yet had a little chip shot right near the bunker, I'm not a very good chipper at all, but I've been practicing. It's been getting a lot better. I'm just having to work on my distance control. And again, with the wind, it was a little hard to get close.
Are we 100% sure that bird did get hit by a golf ball in the air? Kind of looks like he exploded.
I think we're the only ones playing.
So Weston wins the hole. I had a bogey, he had a par. Going into 5, which can be a really long par 3. It actually took a bunker out on the left side. That I was rarely in, but it was very dangerous. It's easy to get in trouble on this hole. It can be a pretty long hole. It can be pretty difficult. There's usually a lot of wind here on this hole. We both did okay on our tee shots. I had a chip. Weston had, I think, a couple putts. Yeah, Weston had a really long putt here. And this is where we did really well on the day. I usually am a pretty good lagger. But with the wind, everything was thrown off. You almost get up there because it's so cold and so windy, and you hurry yourself, especially on the putts. Like, I don't care, it's cold, let's hit this and get back to the cart. So I left this really short.
Oh, I got a shot here.
So Weston, I think, had
God damn, that just kept running.
5-6 footer for par.
I didn't even hit that hard.
I had a 4 footer for bogey, I believe.
Oh, the pressure.
And I missed it, of course. So I ended up with a double bogey. Weston knocks this in for a par with his Spitfire putter.
That'll work.
And now I'm down 2. So Weston's 2 up. Get to the 6th hole, it's a par 5. Water down in front, but you can't really reach the water. It can be pretty long. I had a pretty good drive. Here's my second shot.
Nice layup.
Like a layup with my 3
I'm really struggling with my woods right now in the
hard.
fairway.
If you hit it
I just
good, it goes
dribbled
over. If
that
you
up
don't-
along the fairway, which is kind of a good layup, I guess. My third shot, I actually did all right. I pulled it, the wind grabbed me a little bit, but I hit it well. So that's good for me with woods from the fairway, even on a downhill drive. Weston,
Same. Yeah. That's $10. Where could I be? Is that my ball?
and of course being distracted with the camera.
A few hours later.
But Weston had to take a drop and was hitting 4. And probably, I don't know, 160, probably 170 out. It's a nice shot.
Not going to pin.
I'm sitting 3 just right of the green and have to do a little chip, try to get up there on the green. And now back to putting.
Wow, smoked it again. Well, no, I didn't. Like that. Or I'm gonna go like this.
Left it really short, of course. Again, I don't know if it was the wind or just putting or not being able to concentrate with the weather. Weston did some
I
weird
call that an
chipping
alien
putting stance because he had a really interesting foot lie. And despite going in the water, we both end up with a
6. I need to make this.
6. And so Weston, we have the hole, and Weston remains 2 up.
That's 6.
Still 2.
7th hole's par 3, can be pretty short, can be 110 to maybe 150, 60 yards. Wasn't playing that far today, 125. The wind was crazy. As we see, Weston went way right. I went left because you can kind of try to play it off that hill. But this was kind of the first indication that Weston was starting to get a little bit of the shanks back, the yips, which he has legitimately had several years ago, where he had, I don't know, 2 to 4 week stretch there where he was just, he literally had the yips. I think he's had them with the putter and with chip shots. And Weston's a very good chipper. I like to call him jazz hands because he's got really nice soft hands.
Still not.
So I thought I had a chance on this one.
Alright.
But being up here on this hill, I just kind of missed it.
Oh, geez.
Roll back down. Then I went a little too long. Now back to putting. See, I almost got blown away right there.
That's really bad. Heel! I'm still in it. You missed this. 5.
Good luck with that.
So on this
Wait, what do you say?
short par 3 with a huge wind, I ended up with a double bogey 5, which usually it's not a low scoring hole, but you can usually get out of there pretty well with 3 or 4. You get a lot of breaks on this hole as far as putting goes. And just like his drive, Weston, I think his second and third shot, he shanked again.
Testy 4
So
foot
again,
in
he
for a
started to
tie.
see the shanks.
Right. You had 3 shakes this one.
So as he walks up to putt,
No, 2 shakes.
we both end up with a double bogey. So have the hole, Weston remains 2 up going into the 8th hole. The 8th hole is a long, slightly dog-legged par 4, which can play sometimes like a par 5 because the wind is against you a lot of times. We've played the back tees or the second to back tees before with a strong wind and hit nice drives in 3 woods and been short and hit them both well. Not that we're long hitters, but boy, you hit a drive and a 3 wood and hit them both well and be short. That's a tough hole. Wasn't playing too bad today. The wind, I think, was against us slightly to the side a little bit. So we both had good drives and had chances to get on the green.
Wow! Step out of that one a little bit.
Weston was just short and left, and he gets blown away by the wind. He literally had to step back. It's so windy. And I was short and right. This leads me to that dreaded chip distance of 5 to 10 yards, which is really what I've been trying to work on. And getting much better at somehow. That I'm here in Texas, a lot of times you hit wedge, but I'm just getting a lot better at it and have to work on being a little softer and control my distance a little bit. But I didn't play the break. Again, another hole green breaks quite a bit. A little further away that I wanted for my par putt. Weston knocks in his par, kicks it around a little bit, gets a gimme. So he wins the hole. So now
Not for sure the wind
Weston goes up 3.
So
Weston's 3 up after 8, going into the 9th hole.
Nope, that's a pretty good
Which,
one.
again, is pretty long pretty long par 4, down the hill, bunker on the right. You can see that wind blowing my ball way to the right and in the bunker, and Weston's even further right. I actually hit a nice shot out of the bunker with my treble club.
He's out.
Not real good out of the bunker, out of those long shots. Weston pulls his a little right. Not a terrible shot, but not great. And then has to chip, which I don't have on video. We don't have all Weston shots on video, obviously. I'm over here short and right. Get up on the green, but I have kind of a long putt. This green used to be just terrifying if you'd be above the hole. It's
So that
slant,
went
comes from back to front, and if you're above the hole, it's good luck keeping on the green, but it slowed down quite a bit. We ended up having the hole at bogeys. And Weston remains 3 up. So part 1 is over. Weston is 3 up after 9, going into the back, which I usually do a little bit better on the back. But we'll see if I can come back and make a little bit of game out of this. Weston seems to always beat me by a few strokes even on my best day, but in match play, things are completely different. So we'll see how I can do, and thanks for watching, and stick around. Next day or two, we'll have part 2 up, and we'll see how the match turns out. Thanks, everyone.